Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. I'm just posting everything on my phone right now. Give me a second. I'm posting the link. You guys are early. I know there's only a few guys here, but you guys are the early ones, so welcome in. I'm just posting everything right now, and we'll get started. Okay. All right. We're here. We're live. Welcome, guys. Welcome in. Where is everybody? I'm gone for one day and nobody's here. There you guys are. I see. Okay, so now people are joining in. The view count has just gone up exponentially. Welcome in, guys. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. It's a beautiful Tuesday. Welcome in. We have a beautiful travel setup here, guys. We have a beautiful travel setup. I am testing a lot of different things here, so you're going to have to bear with me as I'm doing this. But this is our new setup for now. This is my new setup for probably the week. I'm going to be here for at least a week. So this is what we're going to have to deal with. Did I trade at all yesterday? No, I did not trade yesterday. But I absolutely was I looked at the market this morning, and there were so many good setups. Nvidia, incredible. SPY, 636, incredible. There's some setups today as well that I'm watching. We have a lot of good setups today. But yesterday was pretty jam-packed. And I think this week is going to be jam-packed. So even though I was not here yesterday trading, there's going to be opportunity today. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. And I'll be talking all about where the opportunity lies today. And I think a lot of it's going to be on semis. The semis are very hot this morning. So where am I right now? I am in Atlanta, Georgia. I am in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. I'm just a little bit outside of Atlanta, about 30 minutes north of Atlanta. Welcome in, guys. First of all, how is the quality? Could you guys give me a quality check? Quality check 1, 2. Is it decent? Is it sounding okay? Does it look okay? That's the one thing that I have concern of. But if it's not perfect today, we will get it perfect tomorrow. It's good? Great? Awesome. That's really good. Very good. Awesome. Yeah, I have this new travel camera too. I probably spent close to 3K just over like the last 2 days on this new setup. So hopefully it's worth it. I don't know. All right, so let's dive into it. That's why you guys are all here. It's 8:31. There's a lot going on this morning. We did not stream yesterday, so we are not going to waste any time today. We just need to dive into this. There's a lot to go over this morning. So first things first is, it says my account suspended, guys. I'm not suspended. I'm just using it's like a Google account I just opened. So just don't believe that. We're going to open Earnings Whisper here if it lets me do it. Bam. Okay. There we go. So today's session, we have very big earnings this week. All week we have big earnings. The thing I want you guys to understand about right now is that we have major healthcare movements in the pre-market. You have you have NVO down considerably, almost a 20% drop in NVO. You have UNH dropping, but then sort of rebalancing back into its middle ground and sort of recaptured that downside move. But you have a lot of healthcare names moving quite a bit this morning. Look at MRK, look at NVO, look at UNH, right? You're going to see a lot of movements happening on the healthcare side this morning. Now, we also have PayPal, Boeing, Spotify, UPS reporting pre-market, MRK also reporting pre-market, obviously, of course. And that's what we have also Procter and Gamble, PG, right? Procter and Gamble also reporting. So obviously lots of healthcare names this morning. After hours today, we have Visa, we have Starbucks, S-Bucks, Cheesecake Factory, if you guys are trading Cheesecake Factory. And then Wednesday session, we have Meta, Microsoft, Robinhood. Okay, that's the big, and QCOM as well, Qualcomm. So big session for tomorrow. We also have a huge session on Thursday. Thursday session, we have Apple, we have Amazon, and we have Coinbase reporting earnings. So some big names coming in the next few days. Let's be mindful of that as we navigate through our session, okay? In terms of economic data, on the economic data side, this morning here on Tuesday, hopefully my big face is not blocking. Is my big face blocking? No, it's not. We're okay. On the economic side for this morning here Tuesday, and I'll zoom in so we can just really focus in on this one set of data this morning. This morning we have, at 9 o'clock, we have some data, not important. The important data we have is at 10 o'clock. We have consumer confidence and JOLTS. So job openings, 10 o'clock, consumer confidence, 10 o'clock. Be aware of that going into today's session. Let's not be idiots, right? Let's just be aware that there is big data at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, the biggest data of the week is tomorrow. Tomorrow, FOMC announcement, 2 p.m., that's going to be absolutely humongous. So obviously be mindful of that going into our Wednesday session. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. Let's focus on Tuesday and let's focus on charts. Let's dive into SPY chart. So without further ado, right now it is 8:34 a.m. It is Tuesday. It is July 29th. We are on the SPY chart and we have at this exact moment 700 viewers. We have 700 viewers flat, and out of the 700 viewers we have approximately 178 likes. So we are very bad on the view count, or on the like count. Let's get the likes up, guys. I'm in my little travel setup here, so hopefully everyone appreciates that. I'm still trying to do this while I'm not home at the setup. So hopefully we can get that up to like 500 today. That'd be awesome. Okay, so on the SPY chart, on SPY this morning, what you saw yesterday was a pretty classic gap up, right? A gap up day, Monday morning, right? And then we pulled back, we retraced the demand. The demand that we had yesterday was 637.50. We broke through that like butter. We then retraced to 636, which is our second big demand, and we found support there at 636. The levels yesterday were very clear. Major level of demand here is 636 maintained, and that's still the major level I'm watching this morning. Okay, so 636 is a clear bull bear pivot. As long as we are above 636, we are technically in bullish formation here, right? So if you see a little bit of this type of action today, this would be the best case bull scenario, right? We are holding 636, we're maintaining demand here, and we look for a move higher. If we lose 636, that's where all hell breaks loose, and downside is the most likely scenario. So for me, scenario one is, really, I'll make this red, right? Scenario one is bullish as long as we are above 636. That's the bull case scenario. And the scenario is bullish if we were under 636, the bear case scenario, in which case we see a move back down to 633.50. That's what I'm seeing today, right? Now, there's one other play that I'm not discussing here right now. And the reason why is no good reason. It's actually a setup I'm watching, and I'll explain it to you. So if yesterday we formed a low, so we see yesterday's session, we have a high here Thursday, we had the breakout level on Friday, so you have a Thursday high, breakout level from Friday, turning into support here on Monday. That's the best case scenario. Like if you're asking me what's the best case scenario for a Monday morning gap up, it's pull back to the Friday demand zone. That's simply what it is. Pull back to the Friday demand zone. The demand zone on Friday was 636. We pulled back once, big upside. Pulled back a second time, a little bit of a whim wham, but upside continuation occurred. So today's session, technically speaking, there is one other level we can watch today for longs. And if you look at the market, right, you look at the level right here, 637.50 is the next big level. The reason why I would watch this today is because if this is a high, right, this is a high we formed, this is a higher low. We have a high and we have a higher low. In this case, we could technically form another higher low right here at 637.50, and this would be the second best possible place for longs today. So I am watching this today. I'm watching level 1 and level 2 for longs. 1 and 2. That's really my main focus today. As long as we are holding that 636 level, I am focusing to see, can we target longs back at demand 1 and demand 2. Now, it's possible, right? It's possible you may see a little bit of a whim wham, right? Look at, if you want to know what a whim wham is, right? I just make up words sometimes, but this is what a whim wham is, right? You see You see this right here. You see, oh, wait a second, 636 is your big demand zone. Oh, we broke it. We broke it. We're bearish now. But then wait a second, bam, next thing that happens is this thing happens, right? Bam, upside, and then big continuation move occurs. So this is a win-win. Big breakdown, reclaim, upside move, okay? Now, if you're looking at the market this morning, I'm not saying that we just go in today like rhinos and we just come in and say, let's long 637.50, right? I'm saying what we do is you look for a little bit of some confirmation here, and we see confirmation here, and this is going to be the best possible long spot this morning. So level 1 for long spot, level 2 for long spot, even if it's a little bit of a break and reclaim type move or a wham, we can still trade it. That's the best possible scenario, would be that sort of break and reclaim type move, okay? That is the SPY chart. On the ES chart this morning, so on ES this morning, it's very much so the same case. So you have a level here. You have a level here of demand around 6,400 here ES. Big supply here 6,458. And obviously you guys know the supply back on SPY chart for a second. Back to SPY for 1 sec. The SPY chart is 639.3 is your all-time high. On the ES chart, that correlates to just about 6,458 here. So this is the all-time high level, right? Obviously we are trading at all-time highs. Almost every single day we're pushing a new all-time high. Market's systematically bullish. If the idea really has been, hey, if we see a pullback back into, if you see some sort of red day, right, red session, look for longs, even if it's a red session, right? That's sort of been the mindset the past few weeks. I think today's session is nothing different, right? If you see us pull back to demand, look for longs back at demand. The demand zone I'm watching is 64.20 here in ES. If we can form a little bit of a higher low here, 64.20, that would be the best case scenario, right? So I would even argue 64.30 would be the next level I'm watching here in ES's chart. So even though you have a level here at 64.20 here, 64.19 would be the level I have here in ES's chart. The second big level I'd be watching for longs is this level here. And this would correlate to this 64.30 correlates to SPY 637.50. So even though this is a little bit of a close level, meaning we're opening right into it, I would keep it on the back burner today, right? We have a big level here at 637.50. Let's watch that. So big level demand here 1, big level demand here 2. Let's look for longs off demand zone 1, longs off demand zone 2. That's what I'm looking for today's session, okay? If we see us trend higher today, if you see a little bit of this type of move today, right, just be careful of all-time high supply, right? You don't want to be long in all-time high supply. I would expect us to reject off all-time high supply. That's just the idea that I would have going forward. Right? Don't be long back into a previous all-time high. Even if it does break out, right, it's just not good risk reward, right? Because the problem is if you say, I want to enter, I'm seeing markets trending higher today. Oh my God, market's trending higher, right? And then you say, well, you know what? I want to enter long now. Okay, fine, do it, right? And where's your target? Your target's probably a break of all-time highs, right? So you see a target would be maybe like this type of move. So this would be your entry. So you're entering right. You're entering right here, right? So right where this is, right, 64.55. You look for an all-time high target break. So that would be like 64.65 would be your 10-point target move. And your stop loss at this point is going to have to be below that 637.50. So it's going to be almost a $24 stop for a $10 reward. So I'm saying this right now is even if we do see a breakout above highs here today, you don't want to be long here at all-time highs. You want to be long at demand zones, or you want to be long back into a break and hold above all-time highs, which would be like this, a break above all-time highs, a pullback, in which case you can then adequately come in here and say, well, fine, I can now risk maybe like a $10 move under or $5 move under our ES all-time highs for a break and retest type trade. So again, this is the idea you want to think about today, right? It's either going to be above all-time highs again today, a new PDM move, right? A new price discovery mode move. Or you're going to say, let's wait for demand zone below 637.50, right? If that pulls back, that's your long spot this morning. So again, levels are leveling, right? Levels are very clear this session. Let's not be crazy here. We have clear levels. Let's not be long in all-time highs. Let's be long back at demand, or let's be short back under 63.90. Because if we lose 63.90, on the ES chart, we are cooked. Okay, that's the most important part. Okay, if we lose this level, then we are seeing downside the market, and we can look for shorts. We can short every pop back into, I would say, probably back into 63.36, which is our next big demand zone below. So that's what it is today's session. Again, going back to SPY, I know I'm repeating myself here, but it's important. Where are we cooked? We are cooked under 636. 636, we go back to 633.50. If we lose 633.50, then we go back down to 631.50. So again, levels are leveling this morning. We have clear things to watch out for. Let's move on. Let's go over the QQQ. So On the Q's chart, on the QQQ chart, it was not so clear yesterday, right? Did you guys see something? Did you guys see something yesterday? I saw something. I see a weird chart here on the Q's. You have a Friday high here at this 567.50, 567.70 area, right? We opened that level, we rip higher, we pull back to it and chop around this level all day. So yesterday's session, even though the market was bullish yesterday, Qs were choppy. QQQ was a choppy chart yesterday. Now, why is that the case? I'm surprised it's the case. The reason why I'm surprised is because if you look at what was outperforming yesterday on the market, it was Nvidia, it was AMD, and it was your chip sector names. So it's a little bit bizarre to see that the QQQ was choppy. But if I am to watch this market this morning here in Qs, what I would look out for is I would look to see if my camera, by the way, just flashed at me. I don't know why it did that. It's good? Yeah, it's good. Okay, I was making sure it's still on. So if I'm watching for anything today in Qs, I will be watching these previous session highs. So I have 570 as a level here. I see 570 as a level. I know 570 is a big level, right? But it's not the major level I'm watching this morning. The major level I'm actually watching this morning here on QQQ is 569. So if you do see us pull back today in the market, the best possible long spot today here in QQQ is going to be 569, which in my opinion is a good long spot today's session. So keep that in the back burner, 569. And Joshua, thank you, Joshua. You are a gentleman, man. Much appreciated. Yes, like and share. Thank you always for supporting Joshua. You are awesome. And Fancy as well. Fancy always here too. Fancy and Joshua, you guys are my biggest people. Thank you very much for doing that. That's awesome of you guys. So back to charts. On the QQQ, 569, level 1, 570, level 2. Of course, you have a new all-time high here, pre-market. Why is Qs making an all-time high here right now when the SPY is sitting under all-time highs, right? That's a question we're asking ourselves. Why is SPY sitting under all-time highs, but QQQ is sitting above all-time highs? The reason why is because of semis, right? And that's going to be a big focal point of today's session. Semis are hot right now. They're hot pre-market, and I think they're going to lead some good trades today, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the idea this morning is that you are seeing some discrepancy in SPY and Qs, QQ being higher and SPY obviously gapping up a little bit this morning, but not quite as strong as the tech side. And the reason why is because of a few things. One, semi strong, but then two, also because you have some healthcare names a little bit weak, right? Look at MRK, big gap down. NVO, big gap down, right? This is causing some weakness on the healthcare side of SPY, and of course, as you guys know, SPY is of course weaker because it is long healthcare, right? It is not mostly healthcare, but it is exposed to healthcare. Okay. So let's move on. Let's talk about the first chart of today's session. Let's talk about Nvidia. Yesterday's session on Nvidia, I think, was very clear. I mean, this was so awesome. We longed it on Friday session. I don't know if you guys were with us on Friday. Were you guys with us on Friday? Jetson, did you also do that? I didn't even see anything. Did you also do? I didn't even see anything on my side, Jetson. On Friday was a Nvidia session. Friday was a beautiful Nvidia session. 173, very big level, very key level of demand there. 173. Friday morning, we longed the 173 and got a beautiful upside trade here. I think we longed right at this 945 candle, right? I got a big upside play back into 175, and this was a nice trade on that Friday morning. Now on Monday morning, look at this. I mean, have you seen a more clear chart? I mean, you look at the chart this morning here on Nvidia, or yesterday's session here in Nvidia, and you look and see what did Nvidia do? What did Nvidia do from Friday session into Monday? You didn't even need to know the ticker you're trading. You could have just put blindfolds on, right, and said, I'm trading gold, right? And you look at the chart yesterday and you see, what did it do? It broke out above a beautiful Friday's highs. So Friday's highs was 174.50. Okay, and what did Nvidia do? It broke out above 174.50. It pulled back to 174.50, and it ripped once. It ripped twice. It ripped several times off 174.50. Now, this morning, Jetson, I see what you're doing over there, Jetson. A little bit of rage baiting over there. But Jetson, you know I always appreciate you too. Anyway, so 174.50, right? 174.50 key level, right? and that was the level that maintained yesterday. So this morning, of course, I mean, we can't use 174.50 anymore, right? This is your big key level, and of course, you ripped higher off that level. This morning, if you're looking for anything, right, I think at this point you want to see a pullback, right? The most logical scenario here on Nvidia is a pullback into demand. The demand I'd watch out for now is going to be simply 177 and 175. That's it. That's all we have here now in Nvidia, right? The sort of continuation momentum trade yesterday was awesome. Now today's session, if you're trading it, you gotta look for pullbacks, right? It's just what it is, right? You want to see this sell off back into 177 for a gap fill play. If it does gap fill, look for a long here at 177 or look for a long here at 175. Those are the two potential plays here I have in Nvidia going into our beautiful Tuesday morning. That's all I have here in Nvidia, okay? AMD. On the AMD chart, you can see AMD also very strong. AMD in that beautiful upside momentum move, right? It sort of just broke out yesterday, Monday morning. And I mean, this is a chart that like I just can't trade, right? If I look at AMD, I know I'm not going to find an entry point here. The reason why is because I look at this upside, right? You look at the upside here on AMD, and you wonder where does it set up along? And for me, I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry if you're long AMD right now, but it's not doing it for me when we are extending higher like this without any pullbacks. The pullback long that I would want to see at some point in time, right? At some point in time, whether it's a month from now, whether it's today's session, whether it's next week, would be back to 162. This is the most logical scenario, and I think eventually it's going to do it. And you see that almost every time Nvidia looks like it, every time AMD looks like it's not going to do it is when it does it, right? Ask yourself this. If you were to go back to July 17th on AMD, and you're going to say, well, ask yourself this, right? Where's the best possible long spot on this chart? Well, you look back and you see the previous highs here at 148, right? Previous highs here at 148. We broke out above it. We see a big upside trade here, and it looks like at this point, it's never going to pull back, right? AMD is simply never going to pull back. And at that moment is precisely when it does what? Is precisely when it pulls back. It pulls back to demand, and where does it pull back to? Right back into demand, almost perfectly right back into demand. Again, almost in two, 3 sessions there, it pulls back right to demand here and big upside trade after that. So today's session here in AMD, it's nothing different from what happened previously back on the 17th of July, right? The idea this morning here on AMD is when does it pull back to demand? I don't know when, but I know it's going to happen. I just don't know exactly when. Look for it to pull back because if it does pull back, this is your long spot. That's it. That's all I have here in AMD, okay? Apple chart. Apple is in a beautiful consolidation here. Apple has been in this consolidation for a long time, and I think it's going to do it at some point in time. It's going to do it at some point, and I think maybe it could even be today, right? If this can break and hold above 216, this is going to be a beautiful upside trade or downside trade under 212. Either above this 216 level for longs back into 218, this would be your first long spot trade, or look for shorts back down under 212, under 212 for a downside back into 208. The reason why I'm saying this is because this is a really tight consolidation for a long period of time. The longer this consolidates, it's like a compressed spring, right? So when you have a compressed spring in the market, when the market actually does clear highs or breaks down below lows, that's when you get the big continuation moves, right? Continuation above highs or continuation below lows. So look to see if the compressed spring can result in anything today, right? Either above 216 or below 212. That's what I'm watching today here on the Apple chart, okay? Let's move on. Let's go over Tesla. Also, by the way, here in Apple for a second, I do see something else here. If you want to be crazy today, you could look for early entry longs here above 215. I have a small level here at 215. The issue with this is if I tell you guys to go long here above 215, if 215 clears, this is going to go to 216. There's not that much upside here, right? So I'm saying this right now because if I do end up trading here Apple at 9:30 in the morning, and you guys see me entering the trade here on the 215 break and retest, right? And you're wondering why is Brett doing that? Well, it's because I'm looking for an early entry scalp back into 216, right? So just understand that. And this is not as nice, right? This is simply not as nice. The nicer breakout, if you want to be higher conviction, you want less stress, You want to keep all the head. You want to keep all the hair in your head, right? Look for a 216 breakout. If that happens, that's where real upside comes in. But again, if you want to be early entry, you want to be smart with it. A little bit of some early entry action, right? Look for 215 as a breakout trade today. Okay. Again, just be understanding that it only has upside back into 216 because that's the next big level. Okay. Moving on. Let's go now to Tesla. Tesla's chart. I heard you guys traded Tesla today or yesterday. Did you guys trade Tesla with Rav? I heard there was a little bit of Tesla action yesterday. What did you guys do in Tesla? Did you guys make money in Tesla? Because I didn't. I didn't make money in Tesla yesterday. I wish I did. This was nice. But I heard you guys had a nice little breakout trade there in Tesla. Tesla 320 breakout, big upside move. Now, Tesla's been known for this, right? Tesla's known for just exploding out of nowhere, right? It just is kind of consolidating and then all of a sudden, bam, upside. Now, today's session on Tesla, I mean, if I'm watching anything, I'd be watching 320 support, right? So the same level that you guys went long at yesterday, the same 320 level you guys went long at yesterday is where I would watch for longs today, right? If we can pull back to 320 today, that'd be your long spot number one. And long spot number two is going to be a break and hold above 330, right? So either this clears above 330 for longs back at 338, or it pulls back the same spot you guys went long at yesterday, 320, and we could look for longs there. That's all I have here on this Tesla chart. Again, long back at demand zone 1 or long above our Monday morning highs. That's it. That's all we have this morning here on Tesla's chart. So moving on. Meta. Meta Shmeta. So here's Meta. Meta chart. I did some sort of adjusting this morning here on Meta's chart, and you can see Meta is consolidating, right? We have a beautiful bull flag breakout here in Meta, followed by consolidation. Now, I think it's important to recognize that this consolidation is still bullish, right? Anytime you have a consolidation with a larger time frame breakout like this, the consolidation can be sort of misinterpreted as choppiness, and it is choppiness, right? I know it's choppiness, but don't misinterpret it as like neutral choppiness, because it's not. This is still bullish choppiness, right? There's a difference between choppiness like this, right? I'll explain it to you. This is choppy, right? This is just simply choppy, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? But then there's this type of choppiness, which is like a flagpole, right? Followed by consolidation. This is still choppy, right? But it's bull choppy, right? It's bull choppy, and it's bullish because of that initial move higher, right? The flagpole, and this is what you just consider a bull flag, right? So if you look at this chart here in Meta, you could very easily like misinterpret it as just neutral choppiness, but it's not neutral, right? You have a beautiful bull flag, right, into demand here on this Meta chart, and we have a consolidation under 725. Now, if this Meta chart can clear above 725, I think this could really get going. So even though I'm not a big Meta trader, if Meta clears 725, I think that you see an upside move. And I don't think it stops until back into 740, right? I think if it clears 725, I think this goes back into 740, right? That's the next big level. And I would even argue this probably goes back into 749, right? So that's where this is likely going back into the bull flag highs here if it clears above 725. Again, let's not be crazy here. I'm not logging it right now, but if it does clear, you look for longs and a break and retest type move. You're looking for this type of action, right? A little breakout, retest type move, right? Upside move and highs. Or if you're an orb trader, right? Look for an orb break and retest, whatever it is, right? Look for a 725 breakout. If it does, that's where longs can really get more involved, okay? That's all I'm seeing here about this chart. Coinbase. So, Coinbase. I know it's a little bit bizarre we're going over Coinbase today, but I want to get some other charts in the rotation this morning. Coinbase is reporting earnings on Thursday's session, I believe. Thursday's session, we have Coinbase reporting earnings. But this is a really interesting pullback long here, the 350. So I'm watching this today, and I know it's a little bit crazy, but let's watch to see, can these previous highs and previous highs here at 350 turn into support this morning here at 350. If this can, this is your best possible long spot today's session. Again, I know it's $32 away from our 350 level, but this is a beautiful break and retest trade here, right? Back at 350. So I'm watching that like a hawk today. Can we pull back to 350? If we do, that's a long spot today's session. So keep that on the back burner, 350. Okay, so let's dive into your charts now. So I'm gonna go over your charts. Type your charts in the chat. I'm looking to the left. If you guys see me looking to the left, that's where my chat is. Let's look at the SoFi, S-O-F-I. Sophie. Sophie is very much so bullish, right? I mean, this is a beautiful breakout above 18.3. Next big level, though, previous big level here, 25. Let's be aware of that, right? Even though it's moving higher pre-market, we have big supply above us, 25. If I'm looking for longs today here at SoFi, I mean, this is a post-earnings move, right? I mean, on Sophie, I don't trust post-earnings move, right? Sophie's not one of those names where it's not like Tesla, right? I mean, look, Tesla has big earnings, right? And everyone loves Tesla after the big earnings. Continuation is likely that next day, okay? SoFi is different. SoFi is a bank, right? Nobody's getting all horned up over SoFi moving up higher, right? Seriously, that's the best way to put it. No one's getting all crazy. Oh my God, Sophie's going crazy. Sophie is not a name where you have a lot of people piling into it, right? Now, PLTR is an example of that, right? PLTR would be, okay, this is a name where everyone gets all crazy about, right? Maybe Tesla, right? Tesla, everyone gets all crazy about. Bull, Bull, right? Everyone's diving into it, right? But when Morgan Stanley reports earnings, and Morgan Stanley has a beautiful earnings day, right? It's not going to be a name that everyone just packs into the next day. Like, it's going to be a retail chasing name. Morgan Stanley is not a retail chasing name. Just like JP Morgan is not a retail chasing name. And SOFI, a bank name, as of right now, for me, what I think here is I don't think this is a retail chasing name. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe I am wrong about this, but usually SoFi and usually banks in general are usually not. Banks in general are usually not retail chasing names. And for that reason here on SoFi, I would look for this to pull back into your next big demand zone, 18.0, 18.3. If it pulls back, that's where I can look for longs today here, 18.3, okay? BULL, Bull. I mean, did you expect anything different here? I mean, Bull, big upside above 12.0, back to supply 18.8. I mean, that's clearly supply. I mean, at this point, we're back at support number one. This is support number one, 15.0. Let's look to see, can it hold 15.0? If it can, this could be another long spot here. So let's look for 15.0 to hold. If it loses 15.0, then it goes back down to 12.0. That's it. So right now here, BULL has to hold 15.0. If 15.0 can hold, we're fine, right? So at this point, look for Bull to hold that 15 spot, because if it does, that's where the next leg of long entries come in. Okay, moving on. What's going on over here? Mara chart. I mean, of course, this is probably moving back down with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is really not moving down, right? Bitcoin is not selling off. Bitcoin is maintaining, right? Bitcoin is absolutely maintaining here. Bitcoin is a strong chart. It's bull flagging here, right? I mean, could Mara be a long spot because you see the Bitcoin bull flag? I mean, absolutely, right? Look for this 16.5 area, right? This is your big demand here. You have a Mara. If 16.5 can hold, that's where upside comes in. Again, that's all I have here in Mara's chart, 16.5 demand. If you lose this level, then back down to 15.0, okay? PLTR 155, big level, right? You can see previous highs. You can see right here, right? You have previous highs, 155, 155, 155, breakout, pullback long retest. Look for 155 to hold. If it's holding, this is bullish, okay? Guys, that's all I have for you this morning. Let's have a good session. It's 9 o'clock. It's Tuesday. We think we have only a few more days left of July. I think two more trading days of July. This is it. So we have the 30th and the 31st of July. That's it. So let's finish off the month strong. Let's have a good session. Big data going into our this morning, and we also have big data tomorrow. Let's be aware of that. And I'll see you guys all for live trading. Bye, guys.